I thought I would do a rundown today of armaments used for HvZ. So I sort of broke out the displays, as you can see. I wanted to show you the pros and cons in HvZ battle about certain weapons. Now, put in mind, HvZ is a little different. Not only do you have mod limits, but you can't really take the risks you can in HvZ of getting tagged as you can in maybe a Nerf battle. And people are not shooting back, but you got to be able to shoot middle range, far range, on a very quickly close range if somebody gets close. I want to show you the pros and cons of certain weapons. Okay, first gun I wanted to show you with a con. That's a this is a front-loaded pistol with a brass barrel. An air gun would have the same disadvantages. What is the disadvantage of this gun? Sure, I can cock it back. I can throw a dodge in there. I can fire it. Okay, but look how long it takes to load, right? And I can just, oh man, I bet you that dot was broken. I usually don't hit things at this close range. What's the disadvantage of this gun? I gotta go again, pull this, pull that, pull that, pull that, pull that, like so, right? Ah! What a pain. What the big mock there. That's really... You guys see the dent? I love that gun. So, number one, reloading, okay? You need a gun that can reload fast. A great example would be a triad or a fire strike without a brass barrel. Because I can just... like that. Even with an 8-kilogram spring, I can just pick up the ammo off the ground. And if I'm out of mag-loaded weapons, okay, I got one that's ready just in case somebody attacks, 2, 3, and then all of a sudden a horde comes. Very simple. Do not underestimate your front-loaded guns. Very important. What saved me in HvZ last time I played in round 5 was that I had a modded fire strike. I was one of the first people to mod it with it as it came out only a week or two before. It was my immediate goal to get on top of the fire strikes, and it has progressed all the way to 16 kilograms. But the one I had was called Super Fire Strike. It only had 6.5. I used a Recon spring and a 84K Stampede spring, and it was legal. You can probably do the same with a 6K spring or an 8K Stampede spring, and it will be legal. Another thing, as we all know, the bread and butter of HvZ offense is, of course, the Stampede. But it's not the easiest guns to mod, and I've seen lots of people have trouble with it. Allow me. As you can see, if I keep firing, unless I hit that switch, it wasn't going to turn off. Okay. One thing is that at range, I've noticed a lot of these, especially the people that cut off the barrels, is they have better power and range, but it has more of a spread, and sometimes you don't want to spread when you're trying to nail somebody. The other day, with this gun, I tried to nail somebody getting out of a car, and I unloaded the entire 18. I didn't hit him. One reason was the dart was going so fast that it was squirreling. The other reason is I didn't really tune up this barrel yet. But Kyle Pettigrew tuned this up. He did a very good job. He modded this for me. I put the scope on there, everything. Very good. This is the Murderizer. This is your bread and butter in HvZ, are rapid fire guns like this. But I want to warn a couple things. One, do not use a gun with too much of a spread. If you're in a critical moment where you got to bag somebody at 20 feet, not just to defend you, but what about your teammates? You need something tighter. The gun that's notoriously tight and slow because of it is the new Alpha Trooper. But to get over the slow part, I threw 8.5K in here. This is using the Black Tactical version 2 spring. Might be a little late for you to order it now, but if you know anybody with it, there it is. But the easy ones to get are always the Orange Model Works 5K springs. They're about 10 feet less, but in all honesty, it's worth it. Because this is a gun that you can just aim right for that picture. I hit it, see? Watch me do it again. No problem. And you have pinpoint accuracy, and you also have slam mode. So this means that if you get backed in the corner, you can do it, but it also is really cool. A modded Stampede has an issue where if you fire it, on a lot of these, it will not stop when you want it to. Let me show you a little example here. Okay. An Alpha Trooper has much more control. How many pumps you fire is how many darts go out directly. You can have just as much rate of fire on an Alpha Trooper or a Rampage as you can a Stampede. The only difference is it's not motorized. Okay. But in HvZ, you're going to want to conserve your ammo. One, you typically don't pick up your own ammo, and typically you lose quite a few rounds of ammo in HvZ. And number two is you want to conserve ammo so you have it. So here we are. Watch. I'm going to let go of the trigger real quick. This is typical for pretty much every Stampede I've ever seen. Okay, that's been modded. See that? Unless I hit this secondary, it wasn't going to turn off. It just kept going. I'm kind of hoping the Rapid Strike is better, but I'm not keeping my hopes up on that one. So, an Alpha Trooper is an excellent gun to go with as a primary because it's light, it's thin, and everything. One thing I would definitely be careful of is these. One of my friends actually broke this in a LARP battle when they were hit by a sword. It was hard hit, okay, but still. It cracked on them, and I'm actually got to fix it this week. Not your friend, not your friend. And they're not as easy to mod as a Retaliator. Speaking of modded Retaliators, something I wanted to show you concerning Retaliators. Okay, this is the spec Retaliator. It's got a 14 kilogram spring in it. Okay, that's not going to be legal in HvZ. The other thing is it's got such a powerful spring, and you're trading power for reliability. Okay, so, sure, it dances, but oh, look at that, it didn't lock back. See? Right in the middle there. See that? It can be an unreliable gun at times. I mean, if you're like me, and you're used to fussing with a Retaliator, that's fine. If I can retreat from my enemies real quick, good. But in HvZ, you got a horde after you, and you can't take that chance, okay? Plus, we don't need no ooh and ah of 200 foot per second guns or 300 foot per second guns in this battle. 150 to 180 will do just fine. Another thing you got to consider, too, is maybe guns like the Longstrike. Now, put in mind, Longshot, excuse me. Put in mind there's benefits and disadvantages of this gun. One is bolt action. Really good for going against somebody, okay, and shooting somebody. But when it comes to sustained fire, this is the side of the bolt sled where it's not as strong because you don't have this going down to the trigger catch. And so if you're in the middle of battle and you're right-handed, I'm gonna do it left-handed just to show you. You might get in a situation where like you don't have the same sustained fire rate. And if you try to tug it from this side too much, you'll definitely break your bolt sled unless it's stock. And if it's stock, why give a shit, okay? A Longstrike Massacre kit, could you use that in HvZ? Yeah, but I would only go like maybe 5K. 8 is questionable on a Longstrike, on a long shot, because for simple reasons. Bigger piston, less weight, more air, more velocity. It might not actually be illegal. I would definitely keep this on, and do not go with that front gun. It's not going to help you. It's a piece of crap. Most people just go like this. One cool accessory to use is a Stryfe barrel, a Spectre barrel attachment. The new one's coming out, that's blue. And if you happen to find one, that might actually help you quite a bit. Quite a bit. Okay, so, just remember that this is not a long-range gun. It's not a long-range weapon. So, a long shot's an excellent gun to take. Another good alternative, if they are legal, would be a Pyragon. Okay, so Pyragon's a good gun to use for HvZ if discs are legal. I've seen some battles where they're not legal, so I don't know. You'll have to check. Are disc guns legal? Disc guns have the advantage of very good sustained fire and very good reliability, very jamless. In a close range situation, whatever you're firing at is going to eat it. They're just going to eat it, and they're going to feel it. They're not going to say, "Oh, that disc didn't get me," when it hits them right on the left breast, right on the nipple, like I did to one girl with the super Retaliator. It's like, oh no, it didn't hit me. That thing was only going 140 feet per second, and that must have smart like a bitch. But no, it didn't hit me at all. Well, 3 other people call it. They saw it. Okay. Couple of problems. Number 1, if you throw a Raider stock on here, it's going to bend this way and that way. Number 2, you can't throw a Retaliator stock on here, as you see. The design gets in the way. What I like to do on these is to take off one of my guns, like this. If you got to have the Raider stock, take it off, put it on one of these, okay? And you can bore this one out and make it like so, or which would end up looking something like that, see, like I do on the R-Spec, or you can just keep it as food. Number 2, I've seen a lot of these guns, these Pyragons. I've seen the drums just out of nowhere. Just, oh shoot, like my drum mag went. Oh, too late, run, run, run. The drums are heavy, and I've seen them actually fall out in battle. Okay. I would definitely, if you're going to roll with a Pyragon, okay, bring an extra 10-rounder or 20-rounder, dude, seriously. Another thing, nitrons, are they good? Yeah, but they're a lot like Stampedes. Same rules apply, basically, except they're disc and maybe not be legal. Okay, so now to my next gun. Stryfe. You may notice mine looks a little weird. I took this out. I have what's called a pad on here. It's made out of 2 sponges and wrapped with duct tape around. What it does is it makes it so when you take the magazine and you put it in, it's resting on the top. It keeps it from bobbing up or bobbing down and missing the flywheels, so that the Stryfe is a surefire. I have the resistors taken out. I have the capacitors taken out. I've never seen a battle where a 16.8 volt Stryfe or Raven has ever been banned from battle. Last HvZ, these just came out. Everybody had them. I had one, and you know what? I didn't even fire it. I ended up handing it to Andrew Vitug because let me tell you what happened. Got in here, the water got in here, or in here, I'd have to ask him, got in the circuitry and it wouldn't work. In the middle of battle, it wouldn't work, so I just handed him mine. Thank God I had one, but the whole battle was just sitting there with a full magazine on my holster. Really. Too many people overarm for HvZ. I say keep it simple, you know. I mean, great. So you got the brass barrel, 12 kilogram triad. But go ahead. Try to reload that triad. Oh crap, here's one. Oh gosh, you know. You might get in a situation where you can't reload it that quick, and you could get tagged as a zombie. Never get in a situation where you can't reload or fire quickly. Okay? Another thing with Stryfes is if you take out the, like I said, capacitors, okay, you can do 12.6 volts. That's a great voltage. 95 flat, good, but it's like the Stampede, it sort of dances everywhere, everything like that. And it's very easy to throw away your ammo with a Stryfe and a Stampede, or even a Pyragon. An Alpha Trooper, you have a little more control, but my favorite gun. Time to go to my favorite gun. Retaliator. This is like the SV that shoots 95 flat, but you have a lot more control of your groupings. It's got an arch rig on it, of course. If you see this right here, that's not for show. It has a piece of Velcro that I can move it this way and that way and sight the gun by windage. And an elevation is just simply these notches. Each one is a zone of range. Pretty soon, you're hitting people from 140 feet, and they get tagged. But there is a disadvantage to a gun like that, though. One, you have to keep it out of like R-Spec and super, you know, long shot kind of velocities, hence why there's no barrels on this. I'm not using this as a sniper right now because it's close range. But then at far range, where you would tend to use it, you're going to run into the problem of people may not feel your hits. That's a problem. I ended up having to cut my hits down to under 100 because some people weren't calling the hits that I was hitting at 120, 130 at Camarillo. So there were a couple that were, actually 3 or 4 that I didn't count in that 39, and those were a lot of them. Like, oh yeah, I didn't get hit. At that range, your dart's going so slow that you can't feel it. This one is not a 5 kilogram Retaliator like I took to HvZ. This is an 8.5K, and people do feel it at 130, 140, no problem. So that cuts down that problem. It goes the same speed as a Stryfe, so they can't really argue it not being an HvZ. But there's a few things, if you're going to use a Retaliator, and you're going to gear it up like this, that you need to understand. Okay? Number 1, solid as a rock. You have to be able to do that with the gun. Okay? Just like that. See? You have to be able to carry it like that, because you're going to be in situations where you climb up hills, you got to hand people the gun, all that stuff. Number 2, make sure that master key is really on there, man. Even if you got a bolted secondary, nylon strap it's secondary, you do not want this coming off in the middle of battle. And this right here, you better shim it. If you've seen my other videos on shimming, there it is. If not, that's a shim. That's the rough side of Velcro that's standing up, and you got a tab there, and you got a tab here, okay, that goes in and hugs this. And that's a 5K Orange ModWorks recon spring. You have to have this, okay? It has to be solid. I say the same for the Stryfes. Only the configuration of shimming is a lot different. You just put all that all around to do that. Make sure it's a reliable gun. Make sure that you have, I definitely recommend a metal parts kit for this gun. I also recommend that you get the Explorer composite piston, and what's coming out later in July is the Stage 2 Retaliator, which I'm going to be covering big time. Okay? But you always want the gun to be reliable. Very reliable. But you also want to be able to do this. Okay? It's cocked, right? Decocker. Make sure you have a decocker. It's very important that you can bring the gun to safe and you don't have to have a question. Because when this is in here, okay, and you have a stock on it, you're going to have a hard time seeing that little orange. Or if you have a black piston, you're not going to see it at all. Why? Because it's black. It's no longer orange. You need to know when your gun is ready for action at any time and any place. Okay? Make sure you bring lots of 18s. Make sure you always have it. And when you start seeing your 18 go above the well, take that out, put a fresh one, start loading the new one. Don't wait till it's all the way out, because you don't want to be out of ammo. Master keys, usually you want the master key to be slammed on, so let me get the selective fire switch for that. Okay, yeah, this is a selective fire master key. And remember that you only need to have the gun configured so that your pump handle's down there. See that? Like right here. You don't want to configure it so it's up there. You want to be able to reach it, okay, but you don't want to do it all there. You need ergonomics in this game, and most definitely you want a bandolier rig. One thing I did was I went to Walmart, and there's these locks, the sort of holdover lock sort of deal. Take the lock end and screw it to either this point. This point's nice because it's flat. And with a wood screw, just screw it, because you need to be able to carry this on bandolier. I haven't done it on this one yet. I did it on the last one when I brought a Longstrike barrel. So you want to be able to, for example, you know, if your gun malfunctions or something, you want to be able to real quickly just do that. Have your routines down, practice, get it down. One thing I would definitely also recommend is stay in groups. Never be alone, because the zombies will always get them alone. Okay, always get you when you're alone. And even practice formations, I would definitely do circle, peel, line, wedge formations. Learn them. Learn them. Learn to tell your people when you're cycling your weapon. By cycling, good. And then you say good at the end. Okay? Make sure you always listen to one command and don't get scattered or sorted in HvZ. And another thing, if you see the admins try to gather more zombie value in this impossible mission, don't hesitate to just say, dude, I'm not doing that. Your commander says do it, okay, you know, yeah, go ahead. Fine. Always listen to the command. But if you're a commander, I highly recommend, if you see those suicide missions, just avoid them. Okay? It's one thing to do objectives, it's another to try to do an impossible one. Okay? No matter how great the reward might seem of the stipulation you get at the next round, you definitely want to consider, maybe, not good enough. Okay, so this is Chris Cartea, and taking that to HvZ. I'm taking 2 of these to HvZ. I'm taking 1 of these to HvZ. Oh no, it's not that. I'm taking 1 of these to HvZ. And I'm taking 1 of these. I think the best bang for the buck weapon is that. A modded Alpha Trooper. May it not have the same rewards, as good of rewards, as a Retaliator does in range. It's more handy, it's rapid fire, it's a very straightforward and good gun. So, anyway, happy hunting, zombie hunters. I'll see you later. Sorry this video is so long, but you know me. Love the gap. Latest.